In the realm of spiritual evolution, overcoming the hurdles that obstruct our path to enlightenment is a profound pursuit. We frequently encounter challenges and enticements that threaten to divert us from our journey. What precisely are these counter-spiritual forces, and how can we transcend them as we seek inner tranquility and insight? Drawing insights from the teachings of spiritual luminary Dolores Cannon, we unveil 7 critical elements that must be avoided to sustain spiritual harmony and advancement. Join us as we delve into these transformative revelations, embarking on a voyage toward heightened spiritual consciousness and contentment. Subscribe to our channel today to partake in this enlightening expedition, unlocking the mysteries of spiritual empowerment and enlightenment. Negative thinking and self-dialogue emerge as formidable adversaries along the path of spiritual development, capable of obscuring our clarity, depleting our vitality, and obstructing our advancement. Yielding to pessimistic thoughts and convictions instigates a self-perpetuating cycle of cynicism and confinement, distorting our perception of reality and impeding our capacity to materialize our aspirations. At the root of negative thinking lies the ego, which flourishes on division, apprehension, and scarcity. The ego endeavors to assert dominance by ensnaring us in a perpetual state of discontent, convincing us of our inadequacy, unworthiness, or powerlessness. This adverse self-dialogue reinforces constrictive notions about ourselves and our environment, perpetuating a downward spiral of despondency and futility. To liberate ourselves from the clutches of negative thinking, we must nurture mindfulness regarding our thoughts and convictions, acknowledging that they are neither inherently valid nor immutable. Initiating this process involves observing our internal discourse and pinpointing patterns of negativity, such as self-condemnation, comparison, or catastrophizing. By illuminating our consciousness with awareness, we begin to discern the intricacies of our thought patterns and reclaim agency over our mental landscape. Through a deliberate examination of these thought patterns, we can initiate a process of challenging their validity and substituting them with more empowering and uplifting perspectives. Engaging in mindfulness and presence serves as another effective strategy for combating negative thinking. By grounding ourselves in the present moment, we can detach from the incessant chatter of the mind and foster a sense of inner peace and serenity. Through mindfulness practices such as meditation, breath work, or body scanning, we can cultivate the ability to observe our thoughts without judgment, fostering a greater sense of spaciousness and clarity in our minds. Furthermore, nurturing gratitude and positivity proves essential for counteracting negative thinking and redirecting our focus towards abundance and blessings. Consciously nurturing an attitude of gratitude and appreciation for the blessings in our lives enables us to rewire our brains, perceiving the world through a lens of abundance rather than scarcity. This shift in perspective empowers us to tap into the boundless reservoir of positivity and joy within us, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. In conclusion, negative thinking and self-talk pose significant obstacles on the spiritual journey, capable of undermining our well-being and hindering our realization of true potential. By fostering awareness, mindfulness, gratitude, and positivity, we can liberate ourselves from the grip of negativity and embrace a more empowered and fulfilling existence. Let us commit to cultivating a mindset of positivity and abundance, recognizing the transformative power of our thoughts in shaping our reality and fostering a life of joy, purpose, and fulfillment. Attachment to material possessions represents a common stumbling block on the spiritual path, often leading to a distorted sense of identity and an excessive focus on external validation and gratification. In a society that often equates wealth and possessions with happiness and worth, it is easy to fall into the trap of seeking fulfillment through material accumulation. However, true fulfillment and inner peace cannot be found in material wealth alone. At the core of attachment to material possessions lies the erroneous belief that external objects can provide lasting happiness and fulfillment. We become attached to the notion that acquiring more possessions will bring us security, status, or validation, measuring our success and self-worth by our material possessions. This attachment only perpetuates a cycle of dissatisfaction and longing. Despite our efforts to accumulate more, we find ourselves constantly seeking, chasing after a promise of happiness and fulfillment that remains elusive. In our relentless pursuit of external validation, we lose touch with our true essence and become disconnected from sources of deeper meaning and fulfillment in our lives. To overcome attachment to material possessions, we must cultivate a deeper understanding of our true nature and inherent worth beyond external trappings. This involves examining our motivations for acquiring material possessions and questioning whether they align with our values and spiritual goals. By becoming aware of the underlying beliefs and desires that drive our attachment to material wealth, we can begin to unravel its hold on our lives. Practicing detachment is another essential step in overcoming attachment. Detachment from material possessions does not entail renouncing all belongings or embracing poverty. Instead, it involves fostering a mindset of non-attachment and liberation from relying on external objects for happiness and fulfillment. By releasing our attachment to specific outcomes and possessions, we create room for enhanced inner peace, contentment, and spiritual development. Moreover, nurturing gratitude for what we already possess can redirect our focus away from scarcity towards the abundance surrounding us. Recognizing and appreciating the blessings in our lives enables us to cultivate a sense of fulfillment that transcends material wealth. In conclusion, attachment to material possessions poses a significant impediment on the spiritual journey, hindering our capacity to foster inner peace, contentment, and spiritual evolution. Through introspection, practicing detachment, and nurturing gratitude, we can surmount attachment to material wealth and embrace a more purposeful and gratifying existence. It's essential to remember that genuine wealth resides not in possessions but in the richness of our inner selves and the depth of our connections with others. One of the most insidious obstacles on the spiritual path is ego identification, characterized by a false sense of self rooted in separation, judgment, and fear. The ego perpetuates the notion of our separateness from others, fostering a belief in competition and comparison for validation and worth. However, the ego is merely a construct of the mind, shaped by societal influences and past experiences. Beneath the layers of ego lies our true essence, a divine spark of consciousness interconnected with all creation. To transcend ego identification, we must first acknowledge its presence in our lives by observing our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with detached awareness. Through self-inquiry and introspection, we can recognize the egoic patterns of thinking and behavior that arise within us, paving the way for spiritual growth and liberation from egoic constraints. We can embark on unraveling the hold that the ego exerts on our lives and reclaim our authentic identity as spiritual beings. Practicing humility serves as a potent remedy for ego identification. Humility entails recognizing our inherent interconnectedness with all of existence and acknowledging that we are not separate from others. Approaching life with humility entails releasing the urge to compete, compare, or assert superiority over others, embracing unity, compassion, and cooperation instead. Moreover, fostering self-awareness and mindfulness proves crucial in transcending ego identification. By maintaining presence in the moment and observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we can disentangle ourselves from the grip of the ego and reconnect with our true essence. Through practices like meditation, breathwork, and self-reflection, we can deepen our connection with our innermost being and experience profound peace, clarity, and wholeness. In conclusion, ego identification poses a significant hurdle on the spiritual journey, hindering our ability to connect with our true essence and live authentically. Let us remember that our genuine identity is not dictated by the ego but by the limitless love, wisdom, and compassion residing within us. Resistance to change, stemming from our fear of the unknown and attachment to familiarity and comfort, is a natural human inclination. However, on the spiritual path, resistance to change can become a notable barrier impeding our growth and evolution. Change is an intrinsic aspect of life, a perpetual process of flux and transformation propelling us forward on our spiritual odyssey. Yet, when we resist change, we cling to the past, inhibiting our ability to embrace new opportunities for growth, healing, and expansion. Resistance to change often arises from apprehension about the unfamiliar and a desire to retain control over our lives. We may fret over the uncertainty and unpredictability of change, worrying about the future and our adaptability to new circumstances. Consequently, we hold on to the safety and security of the familiar, even if it no longer serves our highest good. However, by resisting change, we stagnate and constrain our potential for growth and transformation. Change should not be feared but embraced as an avenue for growth, renewal, and expansion. When we embrace change, we welcome new possibilities into our lives, creating room for greater fulfillment and joy. To overcome resistance to change, we must cultivate a mindset characterized by openness, flexibility, and willingness to embrace the opportunities that change brings. And have faith in the universe instead of holding on to the past or dreading the future. We can embrace the present moment and yield to the natural flow of life. Through practices like mindfulness, meditation, and introspection, we can cultivate resilience and inner strength to navigate life's transitions with grace and fluidity. Additionally, it's vital to release the urge to control outcomes and place trust in the universe's wisdom. By relinquishing attachment to specific results and surrendering to the organic rhythm of life, we open the door to increased synchronicity and harmony in our lives. We begin to perceive change not as a threat but as an avenue for personal growth and expansion, an opportunity to step into our highest potential and fully engage with life. In conclusion, resistance to change poses a significant hurdle on the spiritual journey, impeding our capacity to evolve, grow, and embrace new opportunities. By fostering openness, adaptability, and trust in the universe, we can overcome resistance to change and embark on a journey of profound self-discovery and transformation. Let us welcome change as a natural and inevitable facet of existence, believing that it harbors the key to our greatest development and fulfillment. Unresolved trauma and emotional baggage can burden the soul, obstructing our spiritual progression and hindering our ability to attain genuine inner peace and contentment. Past traumatic experiences, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, can inflict deep wounds on our psyche, giving rise to patterns of dysfunction and distress in our lives. Carrying unresolved trauma and emotional baggage prevents us from fully embracing the present moment and living authentically. Instead, we are haunted by the ghosts of our past, replaying painful memories and reliving past traumas incessantly. This perpetual cycle of re-traumatization keeps us ensnared in a state of fear, anxiety, and disconnection from ourselves and others. Furthermore, unresolved trauma and emotional baggage can manifest in various forms, such as depression, anxiety, addiction, and dysfunctional relationships. These symptoms often serve as coping mechanisms employed by the psyche to alleviate and numb the pain of past traumas. However, they ultimately perpetuate the cycle of suffering, hindering genuine healing and preventing us from experiencing true wholeness and restoration. To overcome unresolved trauma and emotional baggage. To address unresolved trauma and emotional baggage, we must be open to facing our past and participating in the healing and integration process. This entails recognizing and validating our experiences, expressing our emotions, and seeking support from trusted individuals such as friends, family, or mental health professionals. Therapeutic methods like talk therapy and EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, can be especially beneficial in delving into and resolving trauma at a profound level. These approaches offer safe spaces for exploring and releasing stored emotional pain and trauma, facilitating deeper healing and integration. Furthermore, spiritual practices like meditation, breathwork, and energy healing can complement trauma healing by soothing the nervous system, releasing emotional blockages, and connecting us to our inner resilience and wisdom. By combining therapeutic and spiritual approaches to healing, we can address unresolved trauma and emotional baggage on physical, emotional, and spiritual levels, paving the way for greater peace, wholeness, and spiritual growth. In summary, unresolved trauma and emotional baggage pose significant obstacles on the spiritual path, hindering true healing, holiness, and inner peace. By confronting our past, seeking support, and actively engaging in the healing and integration process, we can overcome these barriers and embark on a transformative journey of self-discovery. Let us approach the healing journey with courage and compassion, knowing that true liberation awaits on the other side of our pain and suffering. Lack of self-care and boundaries can impede spiritual growth. Therefore, it's crucial to prioritize self-care and establish healthy boundaries that respect our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. However, many individuals disregard their own needs and neglect to define boundaries, resulting in feelings of exhaustion, resentment, and detachment from their true selves. The absence of self-care can appear in various ways, such as neglecting physical health, overlooking emotional needs, and disregarding spiritual practices. When we overlook self-care, we diminish our capacity to engage fully in life and actualize our highest potential. This may lead to feelings of depletion, fatigue, and a sense of disconnection from our authentic selves. Similarly, the failure to establish healthy boundaries leaves us susceptible to manipulation, exploitation, and emotional overwhelm. Without clear boundaries, we might agree to tasks or commitments that drain our energy and undermine our well-being, leading to emotions like resentment, frustration, and a loss of empowerment. To address the lack of self-care and boundaries, we must prioritize our well-being and define clear boundaries that honor our needs and values. This entails dedicating time to self-care activities such as exercise, meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature.